let's talk about this, because you sent me another. This kind of all coincides with what is going on with the price right now. People forget, that when they talk about the like treasury fund for PulseChain and the other things that are out there, people talk a lot about like, well, there's a wallet with sacrifice funds from the PulseChain sacrifice that has 170,000 ETH in it, that is apparently down this much right now, is bought at $3,900, blah, 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 whatever. But people know that there is kind of a treasury out there with that much ETH in it. But also, I think people underrate that there are other whales and interested parties that there is a lot more money than that to go around. Now, we've talked about the 170K ETH that would be at $10,000 ETH, almost $2 billion. At $12,000 ETH, it's over $2 billion. At 7,000 ETH, it's at well over $1 billion. So, I mean, like, even a horrible cycle top from ETH, that wallet would have $1 billion at least. So, I mean, that's what we'd be looking at. That you figure, you don't know. I mean, you don't know what could happen with those funds, but we do know that it's an interested party that likes to buy these coins, and at that price, would be interesting if they did. But we also know that there's other whales out there that are interested in it. And if you could pull up that tweet that you sent me the other night, from AA Almighty or Almighty 5555,
it's up there.
Oh, my bad. I don't have you on. Okay, so this is very interesting. We don't obviously know any of this. We don't know if this is true or anything like that. But my main point is that just because a wallet that people have tracked has 170,000 ETH in it, people think like, well, it'd be cool if those funds made it in. We don't know when, how, or why they would make it in, but at least that's out there. Well, that may not be all that's out there. There may be actually a hell of a lot more where that came from that people may not recognize. So this guy says, and I gave him a follow, I wasn't aware of him. I see you've just been very rude and haven't followed him, so you should probably go. There you go. Thank you. So he says, PulseChain needs to understand this. Screw this site. I'll say it's a psyop. It's to look into rh.com. I don't know that I'll read every single line, but do y'all really think Richie made this post for no reason? Now, the post that he's referencing, if you go down, so people know what this is about, go down to where Richard, he's quote tweeting. So yeah, there's Richard's tweet from March the 7th of this year, which things were pumping big time at that time, if you don't remember. But he said, Ethereum, like if you've ever sold a top instead of buying it. Now, we know that a wallet with sacrifice funds did buy ETH around the price of $3,900. So go ahead and scroll back up. It's interesting that Richard did tweet that. But this guy goes on to say, do you all think he looked at $800 Ethereum in the face and didn't buy it with his own funds? That was back in the bear market. If you're new here, November 2022, we had ETH pretty much at those prices. It was terrible. Everybody was calling for $500-$600. That never happened. Then he used the sacrifice wallet and who is that? Justin Sun. As exit liquidity to make the top and collect profits in another wallet so that everyone thinks that he's down and FUDs, but in reality, he's up more than we can even fathom and was able to scoop Ethereum dip again after dumping the top, and now he's going to ride it up again. This is one of the greatest players in cryptocurrency history, meaning RH. This is layer one launch cycle PulseChain where the stock market swallows ETH and BTC. You think he's going to mess this cycle up with the amount of money that he has at his disposal? You don't think some of this was planned? And then he goes on to say, like, yeah, I'm sure many things happened that he didn't expect. Nobody's perfect or anything like that. But essentially what this guy is saying is that, do you think that even with his, own personal money or whoever it may be, that Ethereum wouldn't be invested in at that low prices before? And just the things that people like to be, chain sleuths and stuff like that and think they know everything that's going on, and they look at sacrifice wallets and stuff like that. It doesn't mean just because that's what people have seen that that's all there is out there, I guess is what the post is here. So I know we're not like wallet trackers. We're not like on-chain guys. We're not like, spying on wallets, hoping somebody else pumps our bags for us and stuff like that. But it is interesting that, I think people just forget, like, there could be a lot more going on here, essentially. So, yeah. What do you make?
Yeah, I agree. To your point, we aren't wallet trackers. I could care less, really. I mean, I see it on Twitter when people post about it, and the SAC wallet made this move or that move. But we all know that there's other wallets out there. There's ones we don't even know about. They're hidden. They probably have no ties or affiliations to him whatsoever, so they can't be tracked back. They're just wallets that are out there. And yeah, he's always been known to be a top and bottom caller. He knows the cycles very, very well. So yeah, I believe there's a lot more money than we even see in those wallets. And to think that he potentially bought the bottom at 800 or whatever it was, is quite likely. So there's also speculation of him having a lot of Bitcoin that was probably not cashed in, but free claimed when Hex launched. So I don't know if you remember or not, there was something called a silly whale penalty, where if you had over 1,000 Bitcoin in a wallet, you got penalized. You got less Hex for claiming unless you broke it down. So there were a lot of wallets that had 999 in them, which were interesting. So how many of those were his, and what, you and I have talked about this, off air and behind the scenes, but there's a lot more money that's out there. I would guess, no, I'm not even going to guess. It's millions. It's probably hundreds of millions of other funds that are out there playing around that people just don't know about. So yeah, I thought this was quite interesting, the theory behind it, and how he bought the 800, sold the top at the 35, and then rotated into the other wallets that people do know about as a potential gameplay to make people think that he didn't know what he was doing. It was kind of one of those things to just shake people out, possibly. So, he's always been a 5D chess player. So would that not be a hell of a move, right? To make people think that he's down so badly with other people's funds, and that's really not the case. And it's not other people's funds. I shouldn't have even said it that way, because that's not true. It's not anybody else's funds. It belongs to the OA. So that was a bad way to put it.
Oh, no, I understand.
We got a super chat. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate that. Appreciate that. Yeah, but it is very interesting, and I just think that it's odd that people like assume that they know exactly the ammo that the OA or a Sacrifice wallet or any wallet really has, without knowing anything else they may have, or forgetting about what else could be out there. Like I think it's all reasons to be like even more bullish on this maybe than we've ever expected, because there's a lot out there, And who knows? Even right now, I mean, like some people have been speculating now again, like with that guy on Twitter asking about like why the sudden pump and definitely seller exhaustion, but sometimes too. I mean, we're seeing every day, like on the alerts, like of the bridge and stuff like that. You're seeing 6-figure clips, just boom, 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 all day bridging into PulseChain. So, I mean, there could be big buyers out there that are like, hey, I've been sitting on the sidelines. I want to have some kind of confirmation. And with this recent pump, and like Hexo said in that reply, the prices start going up. Look, think of all the things that recently happened. We just had a double bottom a year after the first bottom. We just had the rate cuts. Like people are getting clarity on what's going on with things. We have the election coming. Like it's put up or shut up time, like across the board in crypto, not just in this ecosystem, but it's kind of like, we need people are probably out there. And I totally get this. I mean, like if you're somebody kind of flying by the seat of your pants and isn't to where you want to be at all, you've been just DCing like a goddamn madman for months and years and all that stuff. I totally understand. But in terms of bigger buyers that are like, hey, like I have money, I don't want to, I don't need as much risk or whatever. They'll wait for a confirmation. And, here you see that happening, and you're seeing all these big inflows right now. So yeah, I think it's going to continue. I mean, I think that's what we're seeing right now. So
I agree.
Cool. Well, yeah, it's really nice to see things turn around. Pulse looking good. But if you guys want to check out the Pulse ETH chart, it is looking amazing right now. Pulse X, of course, still looking really good against Pulse and everything. That ratio continues to be strong. So, yeah, we're looking really good across the board. Both Hex is dominating. So we're going to get to some interesting info about Hex here in a couple minutes here, too. So